Welcome to the Prosperity Playground, the podcast where business meets energetics, strategy meets soul, and prosperity becomes inevitable. I'm your host, Anna Lozano, mom, founder, investor, mentor, and energetics in business expert. This is your weekly activation to rewire how you think and feel about wealth, success, and personal power, because it's not about working harder, it's about regulating deeper, aligning stronger, and receiving wider. You don't hustle for your future, you calibrate to your higher self. Join me weekly for high-level conversations with the world's most inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders. True prosperity isn't just about money. It's about alignment, freedom, expansion, and embodying your worth. Welcome to the playground. Let's build your most prosperous life. Welcome back to the Prosperity Playground podcast. Today's conversation is with the founder of GutPersonal, and GutPersonal, as you've heard, is our podcast launch sponsor. Bridgitte Mallinson is a functional medicine dietitian, business mentor, and the founder and CEO of GutPersonal, a supplement company that empowers women to eliminate gut issues for good through a personalized approach. During the pandemic, she became wildly interested in building and scaling her businesses and succeeded in building not one, but two seven-figure plus companies in under 3 years. Her passion for health comes from healing a lifelong struggle with her gut, among many other health issues like migraines, hypothyroidism, and ADHD. Bridgitte healed it all by healing her gut. She spent a decade studying functional medicine and nutrition at esteemed clinics like Mark Hyman's The Ultra Wellness Center. She launched GutPersonal as her way to change the world in a big way and help millions of women and their families, with a big vision to empower women to improve their health and furthermore wealth. GutPersonal is a female-founded with mostly female investors and is currently fundraising. She will motivate and inspire you to build the business and life of your dreams. In today's episode, we dive into gut health as the gateway to expansion, raising $800,000 in her first round of funding by anchoring into her nervous system, feminine energy, and soul-aligned vision. And we talk about scaling a product-based business with ease, not burnout. Enjoy today's show. Bridgitte Mallinson, welcome to the show. I'm so excited you're here.
Oh my God, let's play in the Prosperity Playground, ladies.
Right? That's our portal. So I had an opportunity to try your amazing products, GutPersonal, at a retreat, mastermind retreat in Tulum that I co-hosted with my dear friend Renee Warren. And then one of your investors, Jackie Service, brought everyone the products to try. And every night, we would go to bed at like 9 o'clock. That's the crew. And we'd have our magnesium tea. We'd sip on it. And then we would go off to La La Land. I mean, that retreat was hilarious because everyone was waking up at 5 a.m. to work out, going to bed at like 9:30. Meanwhile, I'm the one that goes to bed at 11, wakes up at like 9 if I can. But edges make us grow, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Since having my first daughter, I am a part of the 9 a.m. club, so I get it.
And the magnesium helps for that lullaby sleep. So we're going to talk about all those things, but I do have to announce that GutPersonal is the launch sponsor of the Prosperity Playground. So I'm so excited for this foundational founder conversation. And I want to start off because you say, and I quote, "Our personal health, especially gut health, lays the foundation for intuitive decision-making, energetic alignment, and success in both life and business." And I wholeheartedly agree. So let's dive into your own personal story and then the catalyst that really empowered you to launch GutPersonal, the product line.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to take you back 12 years ago. I was in school to become a registered dietitian, and I was so excited because I loved this concept as using food as medicine to help heal your body and feel your best. And I was always doing that. My mom really modeled good nutrition and a good relationship with food and everything like that. And so I was in school to become a dietitian. And as I went to my master's, I started to feel really bad in my body. Like there were these kind of whispers that our body gives us throughout the years. In my undergrad, I was, constipated and bloated, but that was kind of it. It was like, okay, push that aside. But then as the years went on and I went to my master's, I was diagnosed with migraines and hypothyroidism. I had hormonal imbalances and adult onset ADHD, like all of these diagnoses that were really strange, and it didn't really make sense for how well I was taking care of myself. So it was really frustrating because I was going to these different doctors and they would just give me another medication. And you're like, this is not helpful. I felt that way, and I know so many women can resonate with the doctor's not giving me answers. I'm frustrated. I'm not feeling great in my body, and I don't know why. And so I went in search of more answers. My schooling was failing me, even with 7 years of education. It wasn't helping me figure out what the root cause was. But I found functional medicine. I interned with Mark Hyman, who is this huge functional medicine doctor in the States, but really globally. And he, being in his practice and being with his dietitians, helped me to see, like, wow, not only what I was going through was super traumatic, to be honest, because it was all this gaslighting from doctors of like, you're fine, when I really felt terrible. And understanding that I could help people better as a functional dietitian if I went back to school and learned more about the body, that I could do more functional lab testing like poop testing and hormone testing and nutrient testing, all of these different things. So I did that on myself to heal myself. I went back to school and then did all of this testing on myself and realized everything that was going on in my body was because my gut was a mess.
Wow.
And healing my gut changed my life in a couple months.
Mm.
Changed decades long of feeling like crap in my body in a couple months, because I had that personalized, tailored plan of like, this is what I need to do. Not what my girlfriend needs to do, not what my mom needs to do to heal her body. This is what I need to do. And it finally gave me that permission to, one, help others, but to finally tune into my own intuition, because I could trust my body. I could trust myself more, because it didn't feel like I was fighting against my body.
Right.
So
You versus
really,
body versus working in harmony together. Wow.
exactly.
Huge goosebumps. And so that transformation was quite quick for you when you
Yeah.
got to the root. So that became your driver. That became the why for actually starting the product line.
Yeah, so the product line came a couple years later.
Mhm.
I had my own private practice where I was helping women one-on-one. And I was working with a mentor during COVID, actually Chris Harder, who I know Lori's been
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Yes.
I was working with Chris, and he said, and I quote, and this is actually really cool because this is a full circle moment of how we're connected. Chris said to me in the middle of 2021, he said, Bridgitte, you're so successful at helping women one on one. And I had a group program of helping women fix their gut. And I was really successful in business and clinically, helping these women fix their gut. He said, but, you're trading your time for money. You need to build a business to sell. And by the way, my wife is doing this, and you should take on investors because she did it, so you could do it too.
Oh my gosh, which timing. 2021 was when I became an investor with
Yes.
Lori's Light Pink at the time, October. So when was this conversation? I love
This conversation was August 2021.
Wow.
And little did I know, the next week, Chris would be hosting a Shark Tank pitch. And so September 2021 is when I got my first investors from that mastermind, from that room. And I realized, if Lori can do it, I can do it too. And she was, expanded me, and his advice expanded me. And so one of the reasons I built Gut Personal was because I wanted to help 1 million women. That was my vision of, I don't want to just help hundreds in a clinical practice. I want to help 1 million women fix their gut. So it was the health of women, but also wealth of women. I knew and I know I can build a really big business. I'm good at big business because I listen to my intuition. I'm always doing the work. You know that, Anna. Like, we are doing the work out here. And then I knew I could build a business to sell. And my godfather's in private equity, so he's my unfair advantage of, how to build a business to sell. And so I knew I could support the health of women, but also the wealth of women. So we have 30 angel investors, and majority are female.
Wow, I love that. So let's go there. So you raised money before launching the brand, the product.
Yes. Yep. We
Wow.
were
Okay,
revenue.
take us on that journey. That's incredible. And also, what I'd love for you to tie into that journey was the piece of you, the identity that you had to step into to say, hey, I am, well, in my nervous system, feeling
Hmm.
safe to raise money, to bring in other people's money to support this big vision I hold of helping a million women. So take us through that process.
Oh my gosh. It was funny because I had to step into it quite quickly. And at the time, I was doing breath work every single day without a beat, without missing that. So I really had worked a lot on my nervous system. I had worked a lot on capacity to hold and receive. I was already in my clinical practice, hitting 100K months with regularity. And so I had this deep, deep, deep belief, not only in myself, which I think that's what allowed me to raise money so quickly. But I had and still have a deep belief in the vision, and knowing that it was put in front of me, exact numbers were put in front of me, a download of when I launched it, I was pitching to investors, I'm going to sell this for 130 million. That was very much my number. Come a year and a half later, I had another download and very visceral with an intuitive where it was 300 million, and that's my number. So I just believe it's going to happen. And I think that deep belief in myself and the vision is what allowed me to do, fundraising when I'd never done it before.
Exactly. And so, what did the conversations look like? Was it just, and again, this is frequency led, frequency first. Your
Mhm.
magnetism is contagious. Like, I'm so hyped up right now. I'm like, where do I
Yeah.
sign on the dotted line for your next round? Because it's like you are magnetic, but you've
Yeah.
done the foundational work in
Yeah.
order to be able to, just as you said, to hold it. Because I can think of a million excuses, fears, reasons as to why not to do that. But
Hmm.
you had done the foundational work and you had the mastermind support and the
Yeah.
evidence of, if Lori can do it, I can do it too, because why the fuck not? And this is the big piece of this podcast is everyone listening. I desire for you to be inspired by these stories to say, if she can do it, I can too. Because all of us are here to live out our soul's mission and our soul's purpose so that we can live our most prosperous lives. So let's go there. So you're out there raising money. It's happening for you. People from the external would be like, holy shit, how is this happening so fast? I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh,
What is
absolutely.
happening for you mindset wise? And then when you go to launch, take us there. And I want to hear some of the challenges that happen because we've
Mm.
also heard Lori's founder story, which there were pivots. The timing of it was insane. So let's go deeper into the founder story.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So a lot of the conversations were pretty easy in the beginning and launching it was really easy because I had always had this vision on my heart. I actually knew all the products that I wanted to launch with. I really knew our mission, which was personalization. Like how we're going to change women's life is through personalizing their supplements. I mean, you and I emailed, right? And you were like, here's what's going on for me, and I customized a routine for you. That's what we're doing at scale. And
Mm.
so I really knew our differentiating factor, which allowed me to sell that to investors is we're not just another supplement company. We are a personalized supplement company. That means it works. So we have longevity with our customers. And then also we are a service company, and that helps with a lot of different things with building revenue, profitability. I mean, the top line, the bottom line, and how we're able to help women better. They're more obsessed. And then we have little soldiers out in the world telling everyone, oh my God, my life was completely changed. So that was really easy. Pitching in the beginning was really easy. And to be honest, I have never struggled with fundraising probably until recently, and I can get into that. So like people are throwing money at me constantly. So I raised $800,000 in the last couple years, and I always did it in small increments. I'd be like, okay, we raised, my first raise was 400, and I was like, okay, we're kind of done. Like, we don't need to raise 500 like we thought. That was maybe an arbitrary number we can just pull from profits. What was challenging was, I've never built a CPG company. But I'm a visionary that loves to solve problems. And so I love learning. And I think having the learner's mindset and not thinking that I know everything, I couldn't build this business and I can't build this business like I built my service company, like I built my clinical practice. And so I'm constantly, even 3.5 years in, learning about how do I build a CPG company? It's a lot different than building a personal brand or coaching business. And I'm just in love with that journey. So it's made us really successful. We hit $1 million in revenue in our first 16 months without any paid ads. So
So
it hasn't.
what were some of those strategies? Because also the landscape has changed since COVID. Since 2020, my husband owns a boutique digital marketing agency, and we just see so many more businesses online, both service and product based. The paid advertising landscape is completely different. So tell us some of the strategies that did work that you intuitively knew this is where we're going to invest our time into in order to scale quickly in those first 16 months.
Affiliate marketing was really the biggest. We didn't start paid ads until 3 years in.
Yeah.
And my thought was, I'm not spending investor money on something I really don't understand yet. And one thing that I did do in the beginning was give a lot of money to a all-in marketing agency without knowing the right questions to ask, without knowing KPIs, without knowing what success looked like. I was paying $15,000 a month when we had 0 or 10K in revenue that our first month.
Yes.
And
I just have to
so
say here, I feel like every founder, product-based business can relate to this story. Like, how many agencies do you go through that really promise you the moon, sun, and stars, and yet being in this learning curve, extreme learning curve, you're like, okay, this sounds amazing, and then you burn through cash. So our product-based business was self-funded, so we started with $60,000. And we hired an agency to support us with our Kickstarter campaign. That money went quick. And
oh
so
boy,
when you're bootstrapping and don't have those hundreds of thousands of dollars, you had the funds, but I loved that you went for affiliate marketing. We did really well with influencer marketing in that era. And so, like you said, having soldiers who have this belief in your product that hold a similar experience testimonial that they can share with others, brilliant. And are you still seeing that work today?
Yes. So, our affiliates so it's 2025. At this point where we were in 2024, our affiliate marketing is down. So it's this interesting thing. And, I'm hearing a lot of CPG companies talk about influencer and affiliate not working as well because the trust factor maybe isn't totally there. So we're down this year for affiliates, but we started ads end of last year. So we are way up. And so when you're talking about too, and your husband understands this landscape 1,000 times more than I do, but why I didn't want to do the paid ads, honestly, probably 2021, 2022, I would have acquired customers for a much lower price than I'm acquiring them now. But I understand the customer journey so much more now. I understand CPG so much more now. So while we just started ads, they are so successful for us right now. They are extremely profitable, and especially for our higher ticket offers, we have $1,000 offer that we have on ads, and it's working. It's working really well and really profitably. And so while I don't know the glory days of meta ads, like, it's working now, which was an intuitive thing for me, which was, I'm not going to do this when I don't understand it. Or I fired my marketing agency 3 months post launch because I was like, I'm not being a good founder. I'm just spending 15K a month. And it really truly was to get it launched. And then I brought it in-house. I hired our friend Jackie, who got me great talent in-house, and that's been working for us.
Yeah, that's amazing. And knowing when to say, like, hey, I don't understand this landscape. I need support on that end. And also outsourcing. What were some of the things that you realized early on that you are the visionary? What are you in human design? Jen? Manifester?
Jen,
You're a generator. Okay.
I'm full Jen, baby. I am balls to the wall energy. Let's go. What are you?
Generator as well, but you hold this like ultra visionary also, which generators, and I had Erin Claire Jones on here to talk about
Yes.
human design, but it's fascinating because I also hold the vision, and yet we have the executioner part of us that
Yes.
also needs to learn how to release control when we need to release control.
Yes. So you are speaking at this at a perfect time. One, if anyone missed the episode with Erin Claire Jones, go back and listen to it. I hired her for myself and my team probably a half dozen times. So I've worked with Erin really closely, and she helped me to understand not only my strengths but my team's strengths, and that's been really really helpful. But what I found, and I'm going back to actually currently, like in real time right now, is making sure, even though I can execute, that I'm not executing the small stuff, because I can get a little too in the weeds because I can. You and I, we are good as generators, executors. And so I need to make sure I'm executing the big vision, I'm executing the big relationships,
Yes.
not the, okay, we have $1,000 offer, and now they are going into our membership. How does that work on the back end? No, 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 no. My integrator needs to deal with that. And I think, to be honest, one thing that allowed me to scale this company quickly without knowing totally what I'm doing is I'm good at delegating and understanding what I'm not good at, and in real time saying, I should not be doing this. Even if I can, I'm not going to burn myself out. Um, I'm going to continue to be a present mama, and people can do it better than me. So I'm not going to do it. So I think delegation is really powerful
It's so
when
powerful.
building your
What shifts
business.
did you see when you brought in human design for your team as a leader to understand themselves more deeply and their zones of genius?
I was able to empower them better. At the time when I was working with Erin quite a bit, we had a projector on our team who I didn't understand how she worked. It didn't make sense to me that it wasn't go, go, go energy. It was let me think on it. Like, let me take a second to guide you. And so it really helped with our efficiency. It helped me as a leader to empower her. And, I'm always going back to, for an entire year, we had a team breathwork instructor as well. And that was really amazing. I really, have my team tune into their own intuition as the foundation of their work as well.
Imagine every corporation did that. So I entered corporate in 2008 after going to business school, and I got there and I was like, there's no chance I'm staying here. And it was a CPG firm too. It was something that, during business school was the dream. But I was placed in a cubicle with no window. And I was like, this is just soul sucking. And
Soul sucking.
so now a lot of women that are in founder roles are bringing in these support tools so that their teams, they're not employees, they can thrive and they can hold a piece of the vision, they can hold a part of the why and enjoy showing up and investing their time into a company that invests in them. It's truly beautiful to witness. And this is where we say, like, there's going to be a transfer of wealth. Kate Northrup said about $3 billion, billions of dollars being transferred in the hands of women. And I truly believe that conscious heart-led women, as founders, as leaders, can transform the world. And
Yeah.
so let's chat more about scaling. So you were booming in the startup phase. So scale phase, what are things that you're investing in? What strategies are proving to be like hits? This is something that other CPG founders listening to this, other product-based founders listening to this can say, okay, maybe this isn't something that I've implemented yet. And this could be business strategy, or it could be more on the soul level.
Oh, that's such a good question. I mean, I've had to change a lot. I think, on the soul level, our beginning phase was very easy and we've still grown. Our revenue has always grown, year over year, month over month, we're always growing. But it's been this kind of messy middle. I feel like scaling from 1 million a year to 5 million a year, that's our messy middle. That's where they say it's harder to be at 1 million than 5 million. And it's, proving to be true. So I think, I wanted this to go faster than it is. So I think my work on the soul level is understanding that even though it's not going as fast as I want it to, you think about like literally ants. Ants move a grain of salt at a time, but they build a mountain. And I love that analogy because it's helping me right now in the middle on the soul level. And then, what has been hit, and we already talked about this, but Meta is going really well for us, surprisingly. And I think a lot of CPG founders are not finding the success with that. And so I would just urge them to tune into their target girl or their target client and really make sure they're talking to them. Whitelisting is working for us with some of our affiliates. So that's really been a hit. And then we've also added more, like slightly moving to an omni-channel approach where we're on Amazon. So, Amazon's really successfully grown for us. We tripled from 2023 to 2024. We'll probably double this year on Amazon and profitably. We're not overspending. I think that's been really important for me as a founder is scaling profitably, but also understanding that my top line is really important, but so is my bottom line. And so we haven't, spent a ton on these things, but this is our year where we're really scaling. And events are always great for us too. And I hear again from a lot of CPG founders, oh no, their events are so expensive. Myself and my team are amazing when we can get in front of people and they feel our energy, they feel our passion. We're not just a supplement company that wants to scale and sell. We so care about our woman, about her season of life, about supporting that season of life through daily habits of personalized supplements.
I'd love to get into events because I saw you at the High Vibe Women event. So
Yeah.
I'm going this coming October, which is going to be
Oh, yay.
amazing.
My team will be there.
Yeah.
I will not. I'll have a 1 week old baby
Oh
probably.
my gosh. So that's like my old stomping ground. That's where we
Uh,
launched, scaled, and no, we sold in BC, but where we were scaling Love Powered Co. So I'm like, I have to go. And Christina's part of the podcast team. So I'm like, hey, we're going to be there. So talk to us about those activations at events because one, I feel so many of us are craving in-person connection and events. There's been so much Zoom over the last few years, but why is it a good investment for you?
Listen, you got to show up with a strategy. I work on the business mentorship side with a lot of founders who just show up to events. You have to think about what do I need to bring to this event to actually sell at the event? So we're bringing our supplements, obviously. But usually our secret sauce is that I'm speaking on stage. We are selling supplements there. So that's, if an event says, no, we're not allowing selling on site, then, it's not a good fit for us because I'm about direct ROI. And then also we're tailoring the offer to that clientele. So for example, I knew High Vibe Women was a group of women who would invest pretty heavily into themselves. So not only were we selling testing, but we actually did a sale on gut testing. So we were doing supplements, sorry, and then we did a sale on gut testing so that we are saying to people, buy the gut test here. You know you need it. Your gut's a mess. We can help you. And they purchase on site. So that helps with, an investment into an event of $1,000, let's say, is the sponsorship fee. I think, candidly at High Vibe, we sold like $6,000
Right.
of product. And it's, I think a lot of founders think events are brand awareness. Screw brand awareness.
Yeah.
I need to see direct ROI from these things. And I'm pretty bullish on that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to spend money on something, like, I think from the 1 to $10 million range, and maybe you have different thoughts on this, but like brand awareness is shit. You, excuse my French, but you need sales, girlfriend. You know, my goal is to scale this to 100 million in revenue and then sell for 300 million. I can't do that. You know, I can't care about brand awareness now.
Yes. Yeah. One of the things I know too you do so well is packaging because, selling a standalone product, that's where we had a tricky time with the product that we created, which was affirmation cards, is how do you create bundles? So we were able to do that looking at family, like family as a whole unit. So affirmations for the mom, affirmations for women and children. But you do bundling so well with the products that come in a package to really
Thank
support
you.
the gut healing. So take us through, in terms of the test, what does the test do? Because that's also brilliant. I mean, doesn't apply to every single type of business, doesn't apply to most, but I think that's a brilliant component, which is more service oriented. And then you have your bundles of product to really support the gut health. So then again, the founder, the team, the human behind the brand can feel at their best in order to run the business from a full cup, overflowing cup. So take us through that.
Yes. Yes, well, I really think if you want to tune into your intuition and you want to use that as a strategy in your business, you have to, like, if you want to trust your gut has to be healed. So I think that's so important. So we really are really deeply rooted in our customer journey. You know, we have our gut testing package, which really is for women who want more information. They want personalization. They want hand holding and say, what do I need really deeply? And then to your point, we have these bundles, which is so funny because me and my team were working on them all morning. Because I always think, yes, it's going well. It's going well, so let's improve it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, let's even make it even better. So we're working on our quiz going straight to bundles versus singular products. So, anyways, a
I
little
love
behind
that.
the scenes
You
of what's
love it.
happening right now. But then our bundles are entry points of where, you know, if someone doesn't want to do gut testing, our gut reset is really for women who've had a lot of gut issues, who are saying, you know, I need to take care of myself better. I need something that works. I mean, listen, as founders, as business owners, we are not in, we don't have the time to try things that aren't going to work for us. So, really, we put together these bundles in thinking of our customer journey. Not every woman who comes to us has a lot of gut issues. Okay, so what does she need? And so we're really tuned into that, our clients and their journey and the women that come and need our support. So I think just being really intentional and knowing your person that you're talking to is so important. And then doing the marketing right. You gotta market it right.
So let's talk about mission-driven marketing. That's something that you speak about and you're deeply committed to. So what is that and how are you doing it?
It's always coming back to what is the goal here? What is her goal, who I'm talking to, and what's our goal? They're the same. They are intertwined. They are both helping her to feel her best so that she can live her vibrant life. I know that's my goal as a company is to help a million women do that. And I know that's her goal as a person. That's your goal, right? That's my goal. We can resonate with this and say, yeah, I deserve to feel my freaking best. I don't right now. So I'm going to find a company that empowers me to feel that way, not only with their products, but with their language. And so when we're marketing, we're really making sure that it's an empowering conversation, that is education based. You know, there are different buyers that want different things. So some people want education, some people just need a nudge of encouragement.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I mean, the marketplace has been burned. They've tested millions of products and invested thousands
Mhm.
in supplements and that the industry, I mean, when we look at supplementation alone, I don't know the value of the industry, but there's so many products out there. And so when
Yes.
you do find something that works and makes you
Hmm.
feel better, then that's also a customer for life. So it's worth investing more at the front end, because if you hold the belief and the knowledge and you have the data to say this product works, you're now investing in the customer journey, but for life. Because if
Yes,
we're feeling good, we're not going to stop ourselves from buying because we don't want to stop feeling good.
exactly. And that's what we've seen too, to be honest, is our lifetime value is so good. And that's really where I felt comfortable to go start running ads was, okay, we really deeply know our customer. We know that if they come, they stay, and I think with deeply knowing them and knowing their journey, then when we went to ads, we were able to really tune into what is our long-term customer and how much can we spend to acquire them. On the business strategy side of things, I could understand that more because I had some time under my belt. I think a lot of founders that want to scale quickly, they take the shortcuts.
Yes.
And even though we have scaled quickly to multi-million dollars, we have not taken shortcuts. And I think that's really important, not only in life too, not just in business. You got to do the inner work, you got to do the breath work or the meditation and the journaling, and that's you can't take the shortcut of just trying to consciously reprogram your beliefs about yourself. And their self growth and business growth are so intertwined.
They're so intertwined. So, what are the things you do? So, you've already mentioned breath work is
Mhm.
one of your tools, your go-to tools. What else are you deeply committed to be able to scale at this rate? Even though you're in the messy middle, the growth is still happening, and you hold such a big
Yeah.
vision. So, what are you committed to in terms of the inner work for yourself? But also, how do you do it all? Because
Yeah.
motherhood, scaling companies to
Yeah.
300 million exit, like there's so much going on. So what are you deeply committed to personally for your own inner world, and then how do you navigate everything outside of you as well?
Yeah. So here's what I don't do, and I think personally has always felt really good is I don't hold myself to I have to do breath work every single day,
Yeah.
or I need to do, like, I really love To Be Magnetic, their meditation. And so I don't say like here's what I'm going to do every day or what time I'm going to do it, to be honest. So this morning, for example, I thought I was going to do breath work first thing in the morning, but I was ready to freaking go. I was ready to mastermind. Our lead dietitian is in town, and I'm like, let's mastermind on these bundles and these program changes. So we did that for like 2 hours. And then right before this podcast, I was like, oh, what would feel juicy? What would feel so good is breath work.
Yeah.
So I'm not, it's not a check box for me,
Yeah.
to really be honest. It is tuning into what I need that day. So sometimes the inner work for me looks like walking and listening to a meditation, or exercise, like going to the gym and throwing around heavy weights. So those are the things that I really love.
I think
And I think,
that's huge
yeah.
because we can get so constrictive in and then feeling guilty when it's not done. Right. So
Hmm.
committing to the meditation or committing to the breath work, and then we get hard on ourselves. Like I didn't get it done, but then that actually is not the point of the
Hmm.
commitment to the inner work that we are committed to. And so
Yeah.
I love this. It's like permission to follow our intuition as
Yes.
guided to do the inner work. How backwards is it sometimes?
I think there's a lack of trust in ourselves, right? Like, and I'm not an all or nothing person. And I think that's actually really served me in a lot of different areas is I don't think that I'm failing. And I think going to the motherhood conversation, I don't think I'm failing if I'm not with my daughter 12 hours a day. I know that in this season, we have an amazing full-time nanny, and I allow that to flow too. It doesn't mean I'm working 9 to 5 every day. I'm definitely not. Um, but it allows me to take care of myself. It allows me to do it all so that we can have it all. I can enjoy all the things that I want to do in this season of life, being really freaking pregnant and having a 2 year old and having a scaling business, also wanting to spend time with my husband and my friends,
Yeah.
So I think you just have to have the right support around you for different seasons. And right now for us, that's actually having full-time care. I think there's some entrepreneurs out there that feel guilty with that.
A lot of
And
guilt. Yeah.
yeah, I don't. I really don't. Um,
I think that's a beautiful
because
perspective because a lot of women hold the guilt, but what happens is you end up half-assing the business, the motherhood, the areas of life
yeah,
that really we're doing this for. We're doing this for our family, we're doing this for impact. And so I think, again, this permission to release any of those feelings and emotions that are not serving us, and just knowing that if you have put together the support system in place, then trust yourself that in this season of life, it's the best decision for yourself as well as your family, rather than leaning into guilt for no reason, because then everything just becomes out of alignment.
yeah.
So where you're in a big phase and stage of life right now, like you're like really pregnant, you have a toddler, you're scaling. What vision are you holding for the future in terms of the legacy for the brand?
Oh my gosh. The legacy is so big. I'm looking at a tree right now, and I really feel like every time I'm tuning into this, I think of a tree and all the leaves. And I think of those leaves as people we have helped. I mean, trees have millions of leaves, right? And so that's the legacy, is that many lives truly changed. I don't just mean, yeah, they're buying products from us all the time. They are deeply healed because of the work that they have done with us. And it doesn't have to be hard work. It doesn't have to be, it can be simple as long as it's personalized. And so I think that that is the legacy. What's really exciting and coming up for us right now, is we've been approached by some private equity firms and venture cap VCs. So it's really thinking about, do we need to take, a big chunk of money right now, a big investment? What would that unlock for us? What would that support with us? Could we have even more support with strategy? I think of these investments and even our angel investors as our supporters. And I'm always thinking, do we need more support? And so it's been really exciting, people coming to us, because that's the magnetism piece. I never thought I'd be having private equity chats this early. And it's just going to show the impact that we're already making is making waves in a space where we want to make waves. We want private equity firms to be like, whoa, what are they doing? They're doing something different. And that's happening already, even if we're not at the revenue that I'd love to be at $10 million right now. We're not there yet, but um, it's been really exciting. We're doing a lot of things right. And I think that's because we're doing mission led, and it's really exciting.
It's so exciting. So I have to go here because this is my intuition speaking. But for those listeners who are rolling their eyes because you've said easy a whole bunch of times, and trust me, I really resonate with that because I came through building my first businesses in hustle mode and sacrificing and believing that that's what I had to do in order to be successful based on my programming. And so, there's a lot happening with the economy and the quote unquote recession and the government and the elections and all these things.
Mhm.
So, again, you hold this powerful magnetism and this powerful belief system, and clearly you have worked on your nervous system to be able to say it gets to be easy with such confidence. And
Yeah.
so I really love that and I really admire it. And I feel like every single person listening to this, you get to have this level of ease
Mhm.
building your legacy, building your impact driven businesses, but you need to do the work. Is there anything that we haven't gone into yet in order for others to actually start to implement and get to this level of confidence? It gets to be fucking easy. It really does.
Yeah. Well, I think that's such a great point because there are women like you. I just read Jamie Kern Lima's book, and she, love her. She built it cosmetics, and I so didn't resonate with her beginnings.
Yeah.
And it was
Struggle
really
bus.
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, right, exactly. Um, because I think women like you and women like her went before me and said, I did this, I'm successful, but don't do it that way. And I think there are women still out there that could very much hustle, grind, get into burnout because they're not listening to women like you.
Yeah.
I am listening to women who have done it the way that they wish they wouldn't have done it.
Mm.
And I'm taking that in and saying, that's exactly right. I didn't start a business to work 12 hours a day. I didn't.
Mm.
I started a business to make an impact, to have really fulfilling work, to change women's lives. And I can't do that if I don't pour into my cup first and I'm a burnt out founder.
Mm.
And so I think there are women who have done the hustle and grind, but they're sharing. You're sharing. Jamie's sharing. Don't do it that way. Because I didn't have trouble, with my health during this journey. I have kept my gut health up. I've gotten pregnant really easily. It's because I've been continually taking care of myself and not burning myself out. And I'm the most important equation to all of this. If I don't take care of myself, Gut Personal won't be able to help those millions of women.
I love that. You really brought tears to my eyes because, this is where mentorship and having people before you and we're all screaming from the rooftops saying like it gets to be done differently this time around. And so this is my fourth brand that I'm launching, and it's the one that I'm saying it gets to be easy. And I have my husband on the other side, and I'm teaching this to him through the work that I do, not through words but through embodiment. And last week, he was on client calls, and I was sitting on the couch reading. And I was preparing for my interview with Neil Donald Walsh, and I'm like, I'm committed to reading his book before I record the episode. He's like, I'm here on my calls, and you're sitting and reading a book. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, yes, I've been doing this for 15 years. And this time I'm choosing to do it differently. And I'm so deeply committed and devoted to doing it the opposite way and bringing those millions, those multi-millions with ease and flow because we deserve this. We are worthy of this. And it's profound and deep work, and it takes dedication and commitment. And at this stage, it's non-negotiable because what I arrived at was, what's this all for? Mm-hmm. Right? When you do it the other way, and it's not worth the burnout, it's not worth the selling of the company, the stress behind the scenes, and what's worth it is the way we're doing it now. And so I really hope that anyone listening to this episode who really deeply resonates, like what you were sharing literally brought tears to my eyes, because why not listen and lead in a different way? We get to do it this way. So thank you so much for sharing that. We're going to switch gears, but before I go into the final three questions, if someone's listening to this and saying, okay, I'm ready to feel different, I'm ready to feel better, I'm ready to start this health transformation journey, and they're inspired by you, the founder, what's their next step?
Yeah, so you can go to gutpersonal.com. You can start with the gut testing package if specifically your gut is out of whack, if your hormones are out of whack. We always still start with the gut, and then we might do hormone testing later, but just a little shout out for that. Or you can take our quiz. You can get personalized supplements. We also do complimentary calls with our dietitian to personalize even further. So there's a lot of different ways to work with us. And of course we sell in Canada. So
yeah, I was going to say, so gut testing, is that something Canadians, Americans, like it's globally accessible?
Oh yeah, we just sent one to Australia this morning. So
awesome. Okay, that's really helpful.
So
and we've had this conversation with Lori as well. Like it's hard to get certain products, especially supplements, into Canada. So the fact that you figure that out, like clapping.
Yeah.
Clapping.
We didn't have any trouble with it. So it was pretty easy. I mean, it was easy. So that wasn't a roadblock for us. Yeah.
That's amazing. I have two women I need to introduce you to who are just like, Canada, why are you so hard when it comes to supplements? So maybe you could mentor them to have that ease and flow experience of getting their products into Canada.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I sent some girlfriend's team to my husband. I was like, you can ask him all the questions. Again, this is something I don't know how we got into Canada, but it was pretty easy, so that's something that I'm not the expert in, but
I
definitely
love
my team can help.
that. Is there anything that I missed that you'd love to add? And I'm going to encourage everyone to try these products. Honestly, I love them so much, and I'm excited to get on the solid protocol.
Yeah.
Because yeah, we all deserve to work from feeling magnetic and amazing in our bodies, our vessel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, truly health is wealth,
Yeah.
right? If we want to have wealth, if we want to have ease, we have to feel at home and safe in our bodies. And that includes symptom free, to be honest, right? Some people are like, oh, I have just this nagging symptom. I'm gonna, toss it under the rug. No, like tune into feeling amazing and the deservingness that you get to feel amazing. And maybe you need more support with that. So come see us. And we're so glad, willing and ready to help you.
Amazing. What's my code again?
Prosperity.
Yes.
GutPersonal.com/prosperity. You're going to save 10% on everything, including $150 off our gut testing package,
That's
and any protocol. If you are someone who has a lot of gut issues, who doesn't want to invest in testing, invest in the reset. That's our 4-product 30-day reset, and it is so good. I put myself on it right now.
amazing. I'm starting as soon as I get to Kelowna, so I'm really excited. So my final 3 questions for you, my love. So your future self, 20 years from today, what wisdom does she have for Bridgitte today?
Your trust paid off.
Mm.
Your trust paid off. You stayed in trust. Your vision happened. It paid off. So good job.
Oh, I love that. A million women were impacted and more. Love that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I just got full body
oh, me
goosebumps.
too. I'm like dripping sweat and
Yes. Oh my God. Pregnancy hormones.
disclaimer, I'm still in Mexico. So
Yeah.
legacy as a parent. So this role is deeply meaningful, obviously, for us female founders. What is one truth you hope your kids carry in their hearts because they felt it in your embodiment in the way that you lived?
You can design the life of your dreams, and that can look any way that you want it to. You can spend half the year, most of the year in Mexico. You can do what you don't have to do, and you don't have to check any boxes. You get to live the life that you want and that you desire and enjoy the shit out of it.
Amazing. And what's your definition of prosperity?
Oh, I mean, definitely an abundance of money. I feel like prosperity does feel like that to me in my body, which feels magnetic and sparkly. And prosperity also feels like fulfillment in my work and in my life. And yeah, I'd say those 2 things.
Beautiful. Where can everyone find you?
I'm Bridgitte Mallinson on Instagram. I also just started writing on LinkedIn. I'm actually really enjoying it over there. Just more business conversation. And yeah, Bridgitte Mallinson, probably wherever you can find me. But I'm mostly on Insta. So shoot me a DM because I love to hear what supported you, what helped you, what was an aha moment, what you don't agree with, what you do agree with. I love, love, love to hear that from the podcast that I'm on. So please connect with me and shoot me a DM there.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing your magnetism and for supporting us to heal our guts so that we can show up and serve from overflow. Thanks for joining me on today's episode of the Prosperity Playground podcast. If this convo sparked something in you, be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts so you never miss your weekly activation. If you enjoyed the conversation, please rate and review. Your feedback helps us reach more souls just like you who are ready to calibrate to their most prosperous life. Know someone who needs this frequency boost? Share the episode to Instagram and tag me @_Anna Lozano so we can grow our energetically aligned community together. And please remember, true prosperity is about alignment, freedom, expansion, and embodying your worth today. See you on the next activation.